On our journey, we don't get to choose many things for ourselves. But early on, we are asked to choose one of the 3 grand companies. In this video, we will talk about the gameplay of the grand companies. I will give you a little overview of who they are, and then we will explore a company-specific quest everybody gets as we join the grand companies. Let's start with the gameplay. You join a grand company through the main story quest. So, this is a quest you can't miss, and you cannot choose to skip it either. And while you are pushed to pick a grand company at this moment, you can always change your allegiance later. We will talk about that in a minute, but first, what gameplay do the grand companies offer? Well, first is what they used to do. Grand companies used to matter for PvP as players were split into teams based on grand companies. This isn't the case anymore. You're now just randomly assigned to a team, so you don't have to worry about which company is best for PvP. But then, what do they do now? Well, each grand company has a rank. As you join, you start at the lowest rank, being private 3rd class. If you want to own a house or an apartment in the game, you need to obtain the rank 2nd lieutenant with your grand company. You do this by earning a special currency called company seals, which you can both use to increase your rank, but also to buy a variety of unique items from the grand company quartermaster. This includes weapons, armor, crafting material, emotes, barding, and ventures for your retainers to go on missions. To get these company seals, you can do fates, duty roulette, or a variety of supply missions for your company. The supply and provision mission are an excellent way to get rid of old and useless gear, and the expert delivery missions are a great way to get more experience for your crafters. Each grand company also has their leaves, which you can use to get more seals, experience, and items. Finally, there is also the squadron. These are your own elite unit of soldiers which you can train, send out on mission, and gain a variety of different rewards. Now, as I mentioned before, you aren't bound to a single grand company. After you become a 2nd lieutenant, you're free to change your allegiance every 15 days. The first time you do it, it's gonna be free of charge, but every subsequent time will cost you 50,000 gil. Make note that the company seals and rank are unique to their own company. Let's say you started as an adder, but you want to move to the Melstrom. So as you come to the Melstrom, you're gonna start again at the lowest rank without any company seals. But if you ever decide to return to the adders, you're gonna get all your company seals there back and your rank. The game doesn't show this well, but the reasons for the seals being different is that they actually canonically look different. Each company has their own unique seal, so you can't use seal from one company with another. Thankfully, the company will store your seals so you don't have to worry about losing them. So in theory, you can max out all the companies if you want. If you want to wear specific company gear, you can only wear the gear from the company you are currently pledged with. So if you're struggling with picking, just pick the one you like the look of the best. But these grand companies aren't the first ever grand companies in Eorzea. Through the history of Eorzea, grand companies are a recurring thing. These are these comprehensive command centers who combine military, economics, and the technological resource of the city-state to face oncoming danger. These companies have always been founded in the face of impending doom, and our current companies are no different. In the events leading up to the 7th Umbral Calamity, the city-states of Ul'dah, Limsa, and Gridania revived the grand companies to stand and protect their cities from the beast tribes, the primals, and the Garlean Empire. These 3 grand companies fought the Garleans at the field at Cardinu when Dalamud descended, causing the 7th Umbral Calamity. And now, when our story starts 5 years later, the 3 grand companies stand together to protect their cities and rebuild. In Gridania, you can find the Order of the Twin Adder. This grand company established the way for the Siege Seer who guide Gridania in communicating with the elementals, to return from the forest and directly oversee the safety of the Gridanian citizen, both by forming special units of fighters and by directing the God's Quiver to protect the city from external threats, and the Wood-Dwellers who protect the peace within the city-state. In Ul'dah, you find the Immortal Flames. The city's military strength has for a long time come from the standing army of mercenaries, along with an elite palace guard known as the Sultan's Warren. To supplement this force, the Immortal Flames were founded under the leadership of Flame General Rauban al-Din. The Grand Company holds both the elite unit directly under the Flame General command, along with 3 main brigades of 235 volunteers each. These units then work with the main security forces of Ul'dah, being the Sultan's Warren, who protect the royal family, the Stone Torches, who handle security of mining operations, and the Brass Blades, who handle security in and around Ul'dah. And finally, in Limsa we find the Melstrom. Now, for a long time, Limsa has touted a fleet known as the Crimson Fleet, which are 5 independent squadrons. The Melstrom is an extension of the first squadron, which gives it power to administer the 4 remaining squadrons, along with the merchant fleets that navigate around Wilbrand. The leader of the Maelstrom is the Chief Admiral Merlwib Lufusven, a former pirate turned admiral and the current leader of Limsa. And so these are the Grand Companies. No matter which one you choose, it will be the right choice. And remember, if you're unhappy, you can always change the Grand Company later on. So on our journey, we are courted by each Grand Company to join the ranks. We travel to the city-states to observe the remembrance service for those lost in the calamity 5 years ago. And in each place, we meet the twins Alphino and Alysae Leveleur. These are the grandchildren of Louis Wa, who I told you about in the video on the Scions. We have in fact met these twins before. They shared a carriage or a boat ride with us as we headed to our starting city at the very start of the game. At each remembrance service, we talk to them a bit as they give us a short introduction of each Grand Company and what dangers they face. And as we had to make our choice, we get to see what they do in the meantime, as the twins split up as they disagree on how to tackle Eorzea's trouble. But don't worry, we will meet Alphino soon and Alysae a bit later in our story. We'll try to remember these two because they're gonna stick with us for a while. After picking a Grand Company, we head over to the respective headquarters to sign up. But as we are there, a surprise news comes through. An airship has been shot down in the area. Now, depending on the Grand Company, the airship will land in different places, but while the visuals might differ, the mission is always the same. For some reason, the Grand Company is unable to send out a unit to help right away, so we are asked to go assist, and of course we agree. We find the airship surrounded by Garleans, and with it, a set of 2 engineers, Biggs and Veg. We save the 2 and dispose of the Garleans. It turns out Biggs and Veg are engineers for Garland Ironwork, a company formed by Sid Garland before the Calamity. The company's goal is to bring Garlean technology, or Magitech as it's also known as, into Eorzea, crafting everything from weapons to airships. But as we learn from Biggs and Veg, Sid Garland has been missing since the Calamity, and while this company is still active, this was the first airship they managed to make after Sid's disappearance. With the 2 engineers saved, we return to finish our recruitment and then head back to the Scions, where we meet Biggs and Veg. It turns out with Magitech-driven technology like airships becoming more and more vital to all of the city-states, it has been decided that as a neutral party, the Scions should serve as the keepers of this technology. Meaning we just added 2 new members to the team. And so we have made new friends and joined the Grand Company. I hope you pick the Grand Company you like, otherwise remember you can always change your mind down the road. And if you like this video, do all the good YouTube stuff and check the videos on the screen, there might be something there you like. But for now, I just hope you have a lovely day.